Please be seated, everybody. What about you guys on the concrete here? No. Come in nice and close. Now, this is the part where we just stand and look at him for about half an hour. What do you reckon? Braden, sharp as. You even trimmed that beard, I think. Katie, 10 out of 10. How good is this? Mountain in the background. Can you believe we were supposed to be here on the 28th of March? All you guys were invited then and you're invited now. So how good is that? I'm so glad to be here today with Braden and Katie because, and I just like to stand out here because I like all of our attention, our focus to be on these two because it's all about them. It's all about what they're about to do, what they're about to say to each other, and they're going to become husband and wife. And I just truly believe we're the lucky ones who get to be here today to watch, to witness, and then to celebrate with them the new creation that is their marriage together, because it's kicking off, guys. Day one is today. It was meant to be 6 months ago or longer, 8 months ago to the day, but it's we are here and we're just thankful to be here, I think, because there's been some shite weddings over the last 6 months, I can tell you that, guys. We were on the rocks, we had a wedding, and then guess what? Macca's drive-through. That was reception. How exciting. 5 people. It sucked. Hence the reason why this was called to today, which I just love. And I just know how important it is for Braden and Katie that every single one of you are here today because it means so much to them. And we also acknowledge the people that aren't here because of being trapped or not being able to come from overseas. And we think about them as well today as well, not being here. And we're just going to have fun for them. My name's Jay Flood, and I'm just the lucky one with you guys who get to be here today to watch and witness as this happens. Sometimes I think I underplay the beautiful bridal party standing up there, and Katie definitely didn't want me to do that today. Maid of honour, Julia Collins. Put your hand up, Julia. Everyone knows who you are. Katie's sister-in-law and close friend. Bridesmaids, Jane and Hayley. They've been close mates of Katie's for years growing up together. Hands up, you two. Top mates. Sam has been Katie's closest mate in Chinchilla, working together at the Chinchilla Vets, and hence she's in charge of all pets today. And Charlotte, obviously, Katie's niece on the end there, looking stunning as well. And 2 pretty special dogs. How good were they when they were there? Jake, a little less interested than Kimber. Kimber seemed right into it. And the boys over there, we've got Brendan, Dan, Tom and Michael, all being great mates from school, growing up together in Kingaroy. And Ryder, Katie's nephew as well. There he is on the end. Did you come in late, Ryder? I didn't even see you. No, he's been ready to go. And again, we just gather here today to just have an awesome time together. And Kev, I saw you just nearly tread on what was it? The veil. Yes. Don't worry, caught it on camera. It's all good, Kev. I think we should also remember how do we get here today? Why are we even standing here? The very first meeting was when Katie was giving her housemate at the time, Tommy, a lift to the pub, and he asked if we could swing by and pick up his workmate Braden. After a fair few drinks, the boys ended up back at the fellow workmate's house and called Katie at 2 a.m. to pick them up. Wanting to make sure they got home all right, she went and picked them both up and dropped them home, making sure that she took her trusty guard dog Jake along for the ride. With Braden's sketchy memory of events and a few things he remembers about the first meeting, it was the bottle of Pimm's rolling around in the back seat of Katie's car. A huge dog, Jake, which he had to share the back seat with, and thinking, this is the girl I should get to know. Katie recalls thinking that Braden was this guy. It was pretty hot, but thinking he was probably already had a girlfriend, so didn't bother chasing after him. That's low confidence there, Katie. It wasn't until 11 months later at the Chinchilla November races, with help from wingman Tommy, that Braden and Katie crossed paths again. Braden was all dressed up in his best peach-coloured shirt and was sporting a full handlebar moustache. Yes, that's a good-looking look. Lucky for him, It was Movember, though. And so Katie let the mow slide for that day. He caught Katie's attention with his cheeky grin and his witty banter, while Katie caught Braden's attention with her glamorous smile and fun-loving personality. Well written, Katie. Well written. That was beautiful. I love how you wrote that. A couple of weeks later, they had their first date where Braden first had to get the approval from Jake, the guard dog, of course. Luckily for Braden, he passed with flying colours and the date went ahead. After that first date, they never looked back, though. Both looking to leave Chinchilla before meeting each other, they soon realised what they had together was special and they moved in together, starting an awesome new life in Chinchilla. It was in May 2018 they started to put down some roots by buying a house in Chinchilla with a couple of acres for Jake to run around on. It didn't take long for Katie to try and add a number of animals to this new home, with Braden trying hard to stop their new home being overrun with animals. You're marrying a vet, mate. Come on. This is going to happen for your whole life. Being a vet, one of the occupational hazards is coming across animals that need new home. And while there has been a few dogs that have been foster dogs and only stayed a short time, at the beginning of 2019, a very special stray dog came to the clinic injured, and Katie knew she had to be part of the family. Katie just had to get Braden to agree. Getting him to drop into the clinic after work allowed Katie and her workmates to ambush Braden with how cute she was and how lucky she'd been to survive being shot in the head. Braden became smitten with this little dog and named her Kimber. And they're both here today being stars of the show. Now, how did they get engaged? I always love the story here. When your girlfriend is born on Valentine's Day, there's really only one day to ask her to marry you, isn't there, Braden? It's the 14th of February. Wanting to keep it a surprise, Braden designed and ordered the ring to be ready in Brisbane the week beforehand. When Katie was at work, Braden drove all the way to Brisbane to pick up the ring and also to track down Kevin to ask if he could marry Katie. On a tight timeline to get back to Chinchilla before Katie finished work, Braden picked up the ring and then tried to track Kevin and Mary Ann down. He went to the house. No one was home. Waited there for a long time. Ate some of their food. Stole a few things. No, he didn't. He waited there for a very long time, and knowing he had to get back to Chinchilla, he left, instead gave Kevin a call, once in a lifetime call, to ask his permission to marry his only daughter, Katie. With the ring and permission now, Braden just had to come up with a way to ask Katie. Unfortunately for Braden, Katie had a whole birthday planned. Work, then netball, then dinner at the pub, which didn't really allow time for any elaborate proposal, which wouldn't really have been Braden's style anyway. So instead, he took the early morning start before work to casually ask Katie to be his wife and presented her with a lifetime of birthday presents in the form of a gorgeous diamond ring. And today marks 5 years and 1 week from their first date. With this 8-month delay, thanks to coronavirus, we are now finally here at the wedding day together. And what a great day to be here. Now, Kat Collins, Katie's sister-in-law. Kat, are you going to be reading?
You can always be as close and as happy as today, yet be secure enough to grow and change along the way. If you can keep for you alone your love as man and wife, yet find the time to share your joy with others in your life. If you can be as one and walk through marriage hand in hand, yet still support the goals and dreams that each of you has planned. If you can dare to always go your separate ways together, then all the wonder of today will stay with you forever.
A good marriage must be created. In the marriage, the little things are the big things. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say, I love you at least once a day. It is never going to sleep angry. It's having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together and facing the world.
It is forming a circle of love that gathers in the whole family. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is having the capacity to forgive and to forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each of you can grow. It is a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is not only marrying the right person, it is being the right partner.
Guys, the true essence of what we're here to do today here is really just encourage you, Braden and Katie, to create a marriage that you both love. I've come down to giving as little words or little advice as I can on a marriage day, but I'm going to give you these ones. Expect nothing and accept everything. That's crazy words, but it's actually a very good thing if you can get deep into that. Expect nothing. Don't attach yourself to how it's going to be. Don't worry about any of that. Just live every day. Don't look too far into the future. You can get a bit anxious then. If you look too far in the past, you can get a bit depressed. Did I do that right? Don't worry about any of that. Live in the moment and enjoy each other. Create a marriage you both love. Braden, Katie, I'm duly authorised by law to solemnise marriages according to law. And before you're joined in marriage, in my presence, the presence of these witnesses, family and friends, I'm to remind you of the solemn and binding nature of the relationship into which you're about to enter. Marriage, according to law in Australia, is a union of two people, to the exclusion of all others, voluntarily entered into for life.
I call upon the persons here present
to witness that I, Braden Thomas Pantlin,
take you, Katie Louise Collins,
as my lawful wedded wife,
as my lawful wedded wife, as my love,
and my best friend.
and my best friend.
I promise to always be your biggest fan
I promise to always be your biggest fan
and your partner in crime.
and your partner in crime.
I promise to support you
I promise to support you
and encourage you,
inspire you
to be the best version of yourself.
to be the best version of yourself.
I promise to love you through good times and bad.
I promise to love you through good times and bad.
I will always be there to laugh with you,
I'll always be there to laugh with you, comfort you,
and celebrate with you. To walk beside you through whatever our life may bring. I take you as you are, loving who you are now, and who you are yet to become. Today I give my hand, my heart, and my love. From this day forward, as long as we both shall live.
Get ready for the tissues.
Solid effort, Braden. Very good. Katie's a little bit more nervous, though, aren't you, Katie? Now I'm building it up, making it worse.
I'm just going to cry the whole time. Okay. I call upon the persons here present to witness that I, Katie Louise Collins, take you, Braden Thomas Pantlin, as my lawful wedded husband, as my friend, and my love. I promise to always be your biggest fan and your partner in crime. I promise to support you, encourage you, and inspire you to be the best version of yourself. I promise to love you through the good times and the bad. I'll be there to laugh with you, comfort you, and celebrate you. To walk beside you through whatever our lives may bring. I take you as you are, loving who you are now, and who you are yet to become. Today I give my hand, my heart, and my love. From this day forward, as long as we both shall live.
Katie, I give you this ring
Katie, I give you this ring
as a symbol of my promise.
as a symbol of my promise.
Today I give you all that I am. Today I give you all that I am.
And all that I'll ever be.
And all that I'll ever be.
As your husband.
As your husband.
With this ring.
With this ring.
I happily marry you.
I happily marry you.
And join my life to yours.
And join my life to yours.
Braden, I give you this ring as a symbol of my promise. Today I give you all that I am and all that I'll ever be as your wife. With this ring, I happily marry you and join my life to yours.
You all right, Kimber? A moment there I thought Kimber was going to attack me. Just quickly, but might have been that bullet in the head. Now you two, you've made it. You've arrived. This is it. Step forward today with optimism in your hearts every day. Create something amazing every day because you've got this chance to do that. Like I said, I think it's the most optimistic thing you do. Stand here, say, we want to be together for the rest of our lives. You're doing it. You've done it. And most importantly, Braden, Katie, I always say this because I just believe it so much. I can see you guys will do this. Always remain the best of friends. With that said, it's my pleasure to now pronounce you as husband and wife. You will now kiss your beautiful wife.
I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass.
First in will be Charlotte Collins and Ryder Collins. The next couple are Sam Margett and Michael Vidler. Next is Hailey Speller and Tom Webster. Next, Jane Ireland and Dan Dascombe. Julia Collins and Brendan Bain. And finally, Mr. and Mrs. Braden Pantlin.
Good evening all. It's been a while coming, but it's now here and gone. There's a slight change to the traditional toasting and speeches tonight at the request of the couple. So you'll see me a couple of times, but I'm really happy at the moment they've asked me to start tonight by toasting to the bride and groom, and so I give you the new Mr. and Mrs. Braden and Katie Pantlin.
So like Kevin said, a bit of a change to the order, but I just do what I'm told. So we're there. So my new wife and I will be back later to do our thank yous and everything else, but for the moment I'd just like to make a toast to the bridal party for all your help and assistance and support. Thank you very much. So.
Good evening. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight to finally celebrate Katie and Braden. And for those of you who haven't met me, I'm Jules. I'm Katie's sister-in-law, and she's also given me the honour tonight of being her old matron. I know these days that the maid of honour speech is actually usually a fairly general part of the wedding itinerary, but I didn't actually know if I'd be giving one because Katie never really said anything. And Braden is such a man of few words that I thought, well, maybe they're going to skip out on a few of the speeches, Sunday rolls around and the text message comes through. I was hoping you could say a few words on behalf of the bridesmaids. Shit, Katie. You've had 8 extra months. I feel like this is a stitch-up. So last night, because I do like to be organised with these things, I started to Google a couple of tips about good speeches, maid of honour speeches, and maybe a little structure to follow. And then I thought, maybe I'll just wing it. And I'm starting to see the people in the room who do know me. Strap in, friends. One tip I did take note of was the advice that all good speeches should emulate the bride and groom. So there will be no tall stories in this speech. So I met Katie when I started dating her eldest brother. I was about 6 months shy of 20. And she was this little sweetie of about 12 years old. She had hair down to her tailbone. Fast forward 20 years, and we've shared over half our lives together as part of the same family. We've lost loved ones. We've gained new ones. We've cried. We've laughed a lot. We've supported each other through multiple mental breakdowns. It actually became a bit of a competition for a while there. We've shared triumphs of our hard work, and we've celebrated the coming together of our family. When I married your brother, I really gained a sister, and a sister that I actually liked. In 2012, we added Kat to our siblings. And I couldn't be more proud to stand next to you today as you marry and we gain another brother. Some of the characteristics that I most admire about Katie are that she is never shy of hard work. She sets her mind to something and she does whatever it takes, and however long it takes, evidently, to get to her dream goal. She is a strong, determined, very, very stubborn and accomplished young woman. She loves music, particularly country music. If she could sing, it would be much better for the rest of us, but that doesn't stop her. She's kind and giving, and the only thing she loves and cares about more than animals is her niece and her nephews, her family and her friends. She is like bookends for her people. She has worn every colour of the rainbow, supporting her people and her girls, and my heart can almost not cope with seeing this beautiful woman in white. When Katie met Braden, she literally picked him up off the side of the road. For about a year, he was looking for the girl with the pims rolling around in the back of her car. And finally, with a little help from Tommy, they met again at the chinchilla races. And since then, Brado has been batting above his average. Braden, as head of the Outlaws, it's my job to do all the grilling and roasting. I have to say, over the past 5 years, you have given me absolutely nothing. Actually, no, he's been a really good sport. You've already assimilated to our family, but I'd like to officially welcome you to join Kat and I officially as the Outlaws. Our job is to combat the Collins time, clear out the hoarding, and put a handbrake on the purse. Now, a couple of words of advice for the next chapter of your partnership. Be best friends. So when you're old and watching whatever weird soapy you're watching and you fall asleep, one in the chair with your mouth open, the other one on the sofa with the remote still pointed at the TV. You can still wake up the next day and love the person who's next to you. Support each other. Marriages are a little bit like rubber bands. They can stretch under pressure. You release a little bit of pressure and you come back together, and then when times get hard again, you've got a little bit more stretch in there. Don't promise to honour and obey. Instead, promise to aid and abet. If you're in it together, there's less opportunity to be angry at each other, and it's much more fun. If you heed none of this advice from me, take from Mum and Dad. 2 things a successful marriage that Kevin and Marianne have taught me: a sense of humour and selective hearing. Katie, thank you for being the best little sister I've had. You're an amazing aunt to my children, and you're the most imperfectly perfect you. Remember that guy I told you about that you had to wait for, that would climb to the top of the apple tree to get the best apples? He's here.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Bainey. I first met Braden at Kingaroy High School in grade 8. We share many common interests and have shared great memories with sport, fishing, shooting, and drinking, to name a few. Heaps of my fond and funny memories include Braden, and he continues to be one of my best mates to this day. As everyone here well knows, Braden has a number of great traits and qualities that will make him an exceptional husband for Katie. And it has been a pleasure to watch those qualities evolve over our 20-odd years of friendship. Braden is intelligent and capable, but is often completely incomprehensible after a few beers. He has always been a natural sportsman, whether it's soccer, cricket, golf, or running, but now prefers the thrill of gambling on sport rather than participating in it. He has always absolutely gone out of his way to catch up for a beer with his mates, but can be absolutely scathing if a debate arises or somebody plays the wrong card in a game of 500. Most importantly, though, Braden has always been loyal, generous, and good-humoured with those close to him, traits I'm sure Katie noticed early on. There are so many great stories involving Braden. For this reason, it was hard to decide on a story that wouldn't incriminate him too much on his wedding day. Though it was easy to rule out the top shelf stories, which include a particular party at Pete's place, a rather embarrassing encounter with a windmill, and the handbag saga. If you don't know these stories, I'm sure Braden will be happy to indulge right after my speech. The particular story that we chose was how Braden got his most endearing nickname, North or Northie. Braden has been affectionately known by various nicknames over the years. Brado, Grogan, Safety Boy, Dwarfy. Forgot this one, but Farmer Fran. But Northie is the one that has stuck. The story starts in the infamous Campbell Corp, a party house we lived in at Toowoomba along with Daniel Dascombe and Peter Height. I wasn't out with Braden the night these particular events occurred, but I did see the aftermath. The morning after the incident, we stumbled out of our rooms into the lounge room, and it was immediately apparent something had gone horribly wrong. There was a trail of mud and dirt between the front door, Braden's room, and the bathroom. His pointy pleather shoes were destroyed, jeans and shirt were black with mud, and the smell was horrendous. We had to wait hours until Braden finally emerged from his den to hear how this carnage came to be. When we finally got to hear the details, it went something like this. Braden was out in the valley and, being the poor uni student that he was, chose to have an extra vodka Red Bull over paying for a cab home. After thoroughly enjoying his $12 beverage, Braden sets off on the Foot Falcon. His internal compass must have been out, because instead of walking west towards home, he headed north and somehow ended up on the inner city bypass. He walked through the inner city bypass tunnel, where foot traffic is prohibited, and kept going north until he ended up in the Airport Link construction site at Bowen Hills. Apparently not noticing the temporary fencing, barricades and signs that he had stumbled through. Still, he kept going north until he walked off the end of one of the unfinished bridges, plunging into the muddy mangroves. After a mighty struggle to free himself from the mangroves, Braden managed to escape, only to have to trudge back to the city in his wet pleather points to wait for the first bus of the day towards Toowoomba. I can only imagine what the bus driver thought when Braden, the bog monster, gets onto the bus, muddy and reeking like the bowels of the Brisbane River. After Braden's northern adventures, He was obviously traumatised and hung up his boots. Even the 300-metre walk to the RE, our favourite pub at the time, necessitated a cab. Many years later, Braden, still scarred from the incident, found a worthy reason to walk again, and it was Katie. After one of their first meetings at the chinchilla races, with taxis scarce, Katie convinced Braden that her house was very close, only involving a short walk through a few paddocks. Katie and Braden made the venture in pitch black back to Katie's place, past the windmills, through barbed wire fences, eventually made it to their destination. To this day, Braden claims that the walk was at least 5 kilometres, mostly due to Katie's inept sense of direction. It was upon hearing this story that we knew Braden and Katie were perfect for each other, destined to never walk home from a night out again. On a more serious note, Katie, you look beautiful today, as do the bridesmaids. You have created a spectacular day, and we are privileged to be part of it. Right from our first meeting, you have been welcoming of us, our puppies, and all the associated pet questions we have. You fitted straight into our friendship group and were immediately accepted by everyone. Braden and Katie, you complement each other so well and will be a perfect team as you travel through life. We're looking forward to being there on the journey with you and sharing in all of your milestones, memories and achievements. Could we please have a toast to the bride and groom, Katie and Braden?
You wanted her? You got her? Good luck. With those 8 words, my new father-in-law, just 44 years, 14 days and 2 hours ago, but who's counting, wished my dear wife Marianne and I a happy journey on our marriage. Those who were at our wedding, there's a couple here tonight who were there, and will remember that Marianne's dad, Clary, was a man of very few words. So his speech to us that night was 8 words. That's all he said. But I think Braden and Katie deserve a little bit more. Now, Jules has done some good roasting, and so does Brendan. I'll see what I can do a little bit. Katie joined us 33 odd years ago and was quite a surprise because back in the time that Katie was born, medical science hadn't progressed to the stage where we know the gender of the baby that's coming. So Marianne and I had almost decided that we were in for 3 boys, and suddenly something popped out and the plumbing was different. So at the time, the birth rate was a little bit up. I think Australians were doing about 2.3, so she quickly became known as 0.3 in the family, much to the joy of the 2 brothers, who used to tease her about being 0.3. But Katie grew up quickly, I think with the help of keeping her 2 brothers in line, to be the beautiful young woman she is today. And Katie has shown, as Jules has said, a tenacity and a determination like no other. We've always found Katie had a solution for every problem. One of the problems she had while we were camping once was that Marianne had a box of chocolates. And Katie really likes chocolates. But she knew that as she took a chocolate out, it left a space. So she found little rocks. And she would take a chocolate out, eat it, wrap the rock up in the paper, and put it back. Now, I'm not sure how many she went through, but we found out when Marianne grabbed one and not thinking, just wrapped the paper off, put it in the mouth and nearly chipped a tooth. So anyway, we fast forward a little bit. She goes through high school where, from a very early age, Katie wanted to be a vet. She showed a real affinity to animals and loved animals. And I can remember back 5 or 6 years old when people would say, "What are you going to be when you grow up?" She'd say, "I want to be a vet. I want to be a vet." So she's had this on her mind all the time. Of course, she gets to high school and our professional vocational guidance people told her, "You'll never be a vet, Katie." Well, you don't tell Katie things like that, what she can't do. So fast forward, she took a bit of a longer route to get to where she wanted to be, having first completed 3 years of vet tech, got a degree in that, and I remember with her standing with her mortar board on her head and the gown on, and everyone's in Chariot of Fire was playing, and she's graduating with a vet tech, and she says, "Dad, I really want to be a vet. I want to go back for 5 years. So can you support me?" Well, what else can you do, you know? So another 5 years later, Katie, the one that could never be a vet, according to the professionals at school, graduated with honours from UQ. Couple of things here. Yes, we're very proud of her achievements. But then she got her first job in Chinchilla. And I really want to thank the Chinchilla mob for opening their arms to her and to us when we go out there and welcoming us as part of Chinchilla mob. It's great to go out there. They really made her welcome, and I'll speak to everyone who is from Chinchilla tonight. That's been her home for the last nearly 8 years. And of course, she's found her Braden out there, which was wonderful as well. Katie has always been a good communicator. And she'd ring home quite often. I mean, these days you can, with all the phones, you can ring home quite often. And every day or two we'd get a phone call from Katie and then it stopped. And Marianne said, "Have you heard from Katie?" I said, "No." And it went on for a few days. She said, "I think there's something wrong." I said, "No, I think she's found a fella." And sure enough, she found a fella. And his name is Braden. So we thought, that Friday night we often have drinks and a quick meal with John and Elaine, and we say, "Hey, the news of the week, you know what it's like." And you say, "Hey, guess what? We think Katie's found a fella." And his name, well, Katie had rung actually and said, "Yes, I have found a fella. His name's Braden Pantlin, and he's an electrician out at the power station out here." I said, "Oh, that's great. We'll tell Elaine and John on the weekend." And so I said to John, "Hey, guess what? Katie's found a fella and his name's Braden Pantlin, works at the power station." John says, "Yeah, I know him, Braden Thomas Pantlin. He's a good lad." We can't share any news, can we? So anyway, John worked for CS Energy as well, and I believe used to pay his salary. So we had tabs on you from early days, Braden. But anyway, as John testified, Braden is quite a good lad, right? So I tried to get some dirt on him. That's bloody difficult. You know, the more I dug, the more I didn't find any dirt on him. I should have gone round to Brendan's place. I think he might have had it. But maybe that was his pre-Chinchilla days. But anyway, the more I dug, the more he looked like the male equivalent of Mary Poppins, you know, practically perfect in every way. But I guess that comes from choosing the right parents in Gary and Jenny, and also obviously some assistance from Carmen and Lou in grooming him for the task he has ahead with Katie, so as they embark on their marriage. But I'll tell you a funny story from their early days. You know, there comes a time in a young man's life when he's wooed a girl that he gets that fearful time when he's got to take her home to meet the parents. Now, we've all been through that, I think, that first stage where you take someone home to meet the parents. So Katie and Braden get in the car and they head for the sunny coast. Braden's riding shotgun, Katie's driving. Right, you know what riding shotgun is? That's when you sit in the left-hand seat, you kind of prop yourself up and open an eye occasionally to make sure your partner's on the road. So he's there and he's opening his eye up occasionally and he sees ahead what he thinks looks like a turtle crossing the road. And so he braces himself. They're getting close to this. And he braces himself for what is obviously going to be a manoeuvre to get around this turtle, but it doesn't come. Instead, he gets bump, bump as they go over it, right? Now here he is taking his newfound girlfriend home to meet the parents, and he's heard all these nice things about her, and she's callously rid straight over this bloody turtle. That's right. Now, look, we all know that Katie loves animals, all sorts of animals, with the exception of flies, mosquitoes and those bloody snakes. And so he's there for quite a while and then raised the subject with her as they got further down the road, and she said, I didn't see it. And, you know, knowing what Katie is like with animals, she wouldn't have seen it. And I'm really pleased that Braden gave her the benefit of the doubt that day, and that's why we're here tonight. So, moving along a little bit after that, Katie had her 30th birthday, and I'm pleased to say that the Pantlin family got behind the party and came out to Chinchilla as we did. We had a great time. I'm sure a few of you will remember that party. Gary and Jenny showed up as... it was a fancy dressed night, and Gary and Jenny showed up as Mickey and Minnie Mouse, which was great. One of the marvellous scenes of the night, and I'll never forget it, is Gary standing at the urinal with his tail in his hand. He earned the title Shithouse Rat for the night. But no, it was a great night and a great introduction of the two families together, and we've had the chance of meeting Gary and Jenny a number of times since, and look forward to their company when we can get together. I'd like to thank Braden for wooing our daughter and making her one of the happiest girls in the world, I think, at the moment. I've never seen her happier. I'd like to welcome Braden to the Collins clan. When he first came to meet us, of course, Jules and Kat had a good look over him and reported back that he was a keeper. So he got the pass there. And I'd like to say that Marianne and I are now proud to call you son. Thank you, Braden. And I'd now like to thank the two people and toast the two people who made Braden possible, and that is Gary and Jenny Pantlin.
Hello everyone, I'm Gary, Braden's very proud father tonight. Well, what a year we've been having. I'm thankful for all of you for making this day finally happen for Katie and Braden. Jenny and I would like to take this opportunity to thank Katie's parents for raising such a wonderful young woman who loves our son. Katie It has been a pleasure getting to know you over these last few years, and I know that Braden knows how lucky he is to have you. You seem to have brought out the best in him. You make him so happy, and for that I am eternally grateful. And based on what Bainey said, it's been a big improvement in his personal life. Some of that I was not aware of. We're thrilled to welcome you into our family, and we are so happy to have the rest of your family here to celebrate with us. You seem this day is truly a joyous day, even if it took a while and a virus to get to this exact day. As you begin your life together as a married couple, I wonder if there is anything I can say to you that will be of value. Most of life is about learning along the way through the experiences of living. I have to say that I simply ignored most of that advice and received in my life until I found out through my own mistakes and experience that it was good advice. Braden, it seems that so far in your life you have been that way too. So instead of offering advice today, I'll make a request of you. I'll ask you, Katie and Braden, to just keep loving each other. Today, that is very easy for you, and maybe it is hard to imagine otherwise, but sometimes life does get busy and difficult, and we can get distracted from what is really important. You have decided that your love for each other is important enough to make a lifetime commitment. Always remember that, even in the difficult times, simply keep loving, respecting, and persevering, and your life will fall into place beautifully. Family and friends, let's raise a glass and toast to a lifetime of love and happiness for Katie and Braden. Thank you.
Just incredibly overwhelmed and very grateful for what an absolutely incredible day that we both have had. My husband and I. It might have been postponed 8 long months, but it was definitely worth the wait, that's for sure, with the perfect weather that we had today and having you all here with us. You have all provided us with so much support and love through this whole wedding planning process, and we're thrilled for you all to be here today to celebrate our special day.
Yes, we'd both like to thank everyone for coming today. It means a lot to us both to have all our family and friends here with us on our special day. We really appreciate the effort everyone has made, especially those that have had to deal with travel restrictions of any kind. Unfortunately, there are some people close to our hearts who couldn't be with us today. I know they would have enjoyed it immensely. Our thoughts are with them, and we know that their thoughts are with us. To all of our suppliers and vendors, for being flexible and understanding and making this day everything we had hoped, we say thank you. Pardon me. To Kevin and Marianne, thank you for always making me welcome within your family and for raising such a loving, caring and extremely patient daughter. Thank you for all your encouragement and support in getting us to this point, especially in times of what I would call wedding postponement distress.
Mum and Dad, thank you so much for all you've done for me over the years. You have been the best parents a girl could ask for. And I definitely wouldn't be the person I am here today without both of you. Special thanks to both of my brothers, Adam and Brant, for getting us to the wedding today.
especially the last minute. Brent was very worried that we were going to be late, so we had a last minute shortcut, which meant that we actually arrived here right on time and was probably a little bit too early. But it was all good. Worked out in the end.
To my parents, Gary and Jenny, thank you for everything you've done over the years. I know at times it hasn't been easy, but you've moulded me into a suitable person. Despite what Bainey may think. But all I put that down to is Carmen and Luana dressing me up in girls' clothes as a young. No, seriously, all your love and support over the years have turned me into the person I am today, and I'm eternally grateful.
Jenny and Gary, thank you so much for raising such a wonderful gentleman. Thank you for welcoming me into your family from day one and supporting Braden and I always. Thank you to my two new sister-in-laws, Lou and Carmen, for welcoming me into your family as well. I wanted a sister growing up. Having grown up with two older brothers, that did pick on me quite a lot. And all I wanted was a sister. And I'm so lucky now to have four gorgeous sister-in-laws, Carmen, Lou, Jules and Kat, and I just couldn't be happier. Thank you. To my beautiful bridesmaids, you are all very amazing girls, and I definitely couldn't have gone through this whole wedding process without you by my side. I could have had about 8 bridesmaids, so there's a few that are very special as well. So Kate and Sarah, Courts and Tracy. If I could have a longer bridal table, I would have, but Braden put the handbrake on.
To my groomsmen, thank you for getting me here in one piece. You're all top blokes and the best mates that anyone could ever ask for. I always enjoy catching up with every single one of you, and I could never imagine anything different. Katie promises that we'll always have time to catch up in the future. And last, but certainly not least, I'd like to thank my beautiful new wife, Katie, for putting this day together multiple times. I know it has been stressful and at times overwhelming. I hope today has been everything you ever dreamed. You look absolutely beautiful, and I couldn't imagine journeying through life with anyone else by my side.
Braden, you are my best friend, my mentor, my playmate, and my greatest challenge. But more importantly, you're the love of my life. You have made me happier than I could have ever imagined, and more loved than I ever thought was possible. Thank you for supporting me and my sometimes crazy ideas, like bringing home a rescue dog from work, which then had 11 puppies. I really can't imagine travelling through life without you. A special thanks to our MC John for tonight and for driving the bridesmaids as well. You and Elaine have been a huge support in my life, and I'm so grateful to have you. And I'm so happy that I was your 4th daughter.
And so to finish, once again, thank you to everyone for all your support, encouragement, antics, love and laughter you have contributed to our lives. You are our favourite people in the world, and we are so glad that you're able to join us on our first day as husband and wife. And with that, if you could all raise a glass for a toast, and let's get busy and celebrate.
Hold you, hold. Can't see you, wanna see. I could die now, wanna die. Every time you look at me, well, I see you in dreams. Don't wake up long, I sleep there alone. As you did all wrong, I'm desperately you see you in one, never see it, but I used to die. It's like didn't see it, but I used to die. This is diamonds for life. You make me what's going to feel. I can see this going down, right into the great me. When I see you in dreams, don't wake up on you, keep getting low, as you get wrong. I'm just as a man, you see you in mine, they see everything, but I used to die. Didn't see it, but I do now. All around in the heart, all the time. Sometimes feels just ain't enough. For this love is going up. When I see you dream, you see you in my didn't see it, but I you yeah, I didn't see it, but you said I didn't see it, what I do. Look at the two of you dancing that way, lost in the moment and each other's face. So much in love, you're alone in this place, like there's nobody else in the world. I was enough for her not long ago. I was her number one, she told me so, and she still means the world to me, just so you know. So be careful when you hold my girl. Time changes everything, life must go on. I'm not gonna stand in your way. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. How could that beautiful woman wait to you, be the same freckle-faced kid that I knew, the one that I read all those fairy tales to, and tucked into bed all those nights. And I knew the first time I saw you with her, it was only a matter of time. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. electricity, I'm flying.